The quiet withdrawal. The sound that changed everything wasn't loud. It wasn't a shout or a slammed door. It was the soft click of a debit card being slid back into a wallet. Margaret Hill noticed it only because silence had trained her ears too well. Her son Daniel stood near the doorway, phone pressed to his ear, smiling the way people do when they're already somewhere else. "Yeah, Mom's cool with it," he said casually. "I'll transfer the rest tomorrow." Margaret looked up from her armchair. "The rest of what, Danny?" He paused, covered the phone. "Just some errands, Mom. I'll be back in a few days." He kissed her cheek, smelled of expensive cologne she didn't recognize, and walked out with a gym bag slung over his shoulder. The door closed. The apartment exhaled. Margaret sat still, her heart knocking softly against her ribs. The empty account. That evening, she went to the small desk by the window and opened her laptop. Her fingers shook, not from age, but from instinct. She logged into her bank account. The balance refreshed, then refreshed again. She stared. Her entire monthly pension, gone. Not spent slowly. Not withdrawn carefully. Gone in 2 transfers. She didn't cry. Crying required surprise, and deep down, Margaret wasn't surprised at all. Daniel had been between opportunities for almost 3 years now. Each month came with a new promise, a startup idea, a business partner, a short-term loan he'd pay back as soon as things picked up. Things never did. Margaret picked up her coat and walked to the kitchen. The refrigerator test. She opened the refrigerator. A jar of mustard. Half a lemon. A carton of milk past its date. That was all. Daniel had assured her before leaving, "Don't worry, Mom. There's food." There wasn't. She closed the fridge gently, as if not to startle herself. At 72, hunger wasn't dramatic. It didn't roar. It whispered and whispered. A discovery. Unable to sleep, Margaret began cleaning, a habit left over from decades of teaching elementary school. Sorting calmed her. In Daniel's room, under a stack of unopened mail, she found a folder. Inside, a printed email, a brochure. Silver Pines Assisted Living, Affordable Care Options. Her name was typed neatly at the top of an intake form. Proposed move-in date, 6 weeks from now. Margaret sat on the edge of the bed. So this was the plan. Not just to use her money, but to remove her. She folded the papers carefully and placed them back. Her hands didn't shake. Her mind cleared. The call. The next morning, Margaret made a phone call she had avoided for years. "Good morning," she said calmly. "My name is Margaret Hill. I'd like to ask about selling a few items." The man on the other end listened politely. When he arrived that afternoon, he didn't expect much. But when he saw the apartment, the original hardwood floors, the oil paintings, the antique piano untouched for decades, his tone changed. "These are valuable," he said honestly. "I know," Margaret replied. "That's why I kept them." She sold the piano first, then the paintings, then the dining set no one had eaten at in 15 years. Each signature she placed on a document felt like cutting a thread that had tied her down. By evening, her purse was heavy with checks. Her chest felt light. A proper meal. Margaret didn't go to the discount grocery store. She went to a small cafe she used to pass every day but never entered. She ordered soup, bread, and a slice of cake. She ate slowly, not greedily, respectfully, as if honoring herself. The return. Daniel came back sunburned and cheerful, dragging his bag across the floor. "Hey, Mom. I'm starving." He walked straight to the refrigerator and opened it. It was full, not extravagantly, but thoughtfully. Fresh vegetables, cooked meals, fruit. Daniel turned around, confused. "Where'd this come from?" Margaret sat at the table, sipping tea. "From my money," she said. "The money you took." He laughed nervously. "Come on, Mom. I needed it. You don't even go anywhere." She stood. "That's over." Daniel frowned. "What are you talking about?" She handed him the brochure. His smile collapsed. "You went through my things." "No," Margaret said quietly. "You went through my life." The line. Daniel's voice sharpened. "You're overreacting. I was helping you plan for the future." "My future," she said, "is not your convenience." She walked to the door and opened it. "I changed the bank access. The locks will be changed tomorrow." Daniel stared. "You can't do this." "I just did." After, Daniel left angry, threatening. He never followed through. Margaret didn't sell the apartment. She sold time instead. She traveled. She rested. She learned to cook new dishes. She learns something else too. Love does not require self-erasure, and children are not owed a life built from their parents' bones. One evening, she stood by the window, watching the city glow. Her refrigerator hummed quietly behind her, full, just like her life.